disclosed this during a visit to the leadership of the Supreme Council of the Bolo Traditional Rulers, led by the chairman, Dr. Benson Egwenre, Uruk 17th, Okanama, Ataba Kingdom, at his residence in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, reassured the people of Obolo Nation of the Commission's commitment to impact the communities in the NDDC mandate state. The managing director told the leadership of the Obolo people and its affiliate bodies not to feel marginalized as he unfolded the programs lined up in the strategic plan of the Commission for the benefit of the people of the region. While members of the Supreme Council of Obolo Traditional Rulers pledged to support the management of the Commission, speaking on behalf of the group, King Egwenre commended the NDDC Managing Director for completing existing solar power projects and awarding new one in Andoni local government area and other adjoining communities was a welcome development. Ezwe Oban Anyama, in conjunction with the Council of Traditional Rulers in Obwe local government area of Bayelsa State, has bestowed a prestigious chieftaincy title on the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Obuku, describing him as a light shining on all Niger Delta communities, speaking on behalf of Ezwe Oban Anyama during a grand reception in honor of Dr. Obuku at Onuebum Ultra-Modern Playground in Onuebum Town. The chairman of the Central Planning Committee, Chief Olali Malayan Ebe, said they had implicit confidence in the ability of Obuku to perform his duties efficiently, effectively, and credibly, while conferring the traditional title of AD1 of Oban Anyama Kingdom, pillar of the kingdom, on Obuku. The traditional ruler of Oban Anyama, King Ome Theophilus, said that it was in recognition of his outstanding commitment to the development of the Niger Delta region. King Theophilus said, "What you are doing at NDDC to serve the people of the Niger Delta region is pleasing to us. We recognize and commend you. The people of the Niger Delta need a leader like you who cares about their affairs, who cares about their development, and I want to assure you that we shall support you." In his acceptance, Obuku said that the honor given to him was a call to higher service to the people, stating he is confident that he will not fail to meet the expectations of the people and will succeed and build more pillars for the development of the communities. First Lady tasks women to emulate biblical virtues. Akwa Ibom State First Lady Patience Eno has charged women in the states to emulate the virtues of women in the Bible who were devoted to God and exemplary in character. And said it is by studying and emulating their faith that they can cultivate a deeper sense of devotion to God and those around them. She said this during Women Rally 2023, a program organized by the Women Fellowship of Kaibo Church, Eke Township Superintendency, tagged a devoted woman. The First Lady, who was the keynote speaker at the event, noted that the stories of faithful and devoted women in the Bible are capable of deepening one's spiritual life and devotion to God, adding that miracles always abounded anytime women gathered in the Bible, and expressed optimism that the same will be the case at the end of the women's rally. News Tonight, civil group known as Association for Public Policy Analysis is urging the Supreme Court to resolve all pending cases on the 2019 Imo State governorship election before the November 11 gubernatorial poll. This is coming after the court had fixed October 31st, 2023 to hear two separate appeals filed since 2020 seeking to know the authentic candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2019 election, while the two appeals are fallouts of the two judgments delivered by the court in late 2019 and early 2020, in which issues authenticity of the APC gubernatorial candidate became turning. The Apex Court had disqualified Uche Nwosu from contesting the 2019 poll because he held double nomination of the APC and the Action Alliance, while in another judgment in 2020, the Supreme Court removed Emeka Ihedioha of the People's Democratic Party as the elected governor and declared APC Hope Uzodinma as the winner of the 2019 governorship election. Dissatisfied with how Uzodinma became the APC gubernatorial candidate, a motion on notice was filed in 2019 by the PDP and Action People's Party, praying the Apex Court to interpret the effect of the judgment that held Nwosu as APC's candidate but disqualified him for having double nomination of APC and Action Alliance at the same time. The senior advocate of Nigeria, Philip Umade San, had filed another motion on notice to the Supreme Court for the interpretation of the judgment that sacked Nwosu and seeking enforcement of the same judgment as it relates to APC's participation in the 2019 Imo governorship election. National President of the association, Comrade Prince Will Okorie, praised the court for fixing October 31st for the two suits, but raised an alarm over alleged plans to shift the date. Nigerian army has killed one suspected member of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network in Imo State. The army equally said it has nabbed the suspected escapee of the just jailbreak Chimezie Chukwu, also known as Biggie, during different operation in the southeast region of the country. A statement by the spokesperson for the Joint Task Force Operation Udoka 2, Jonah Onoakalu, and shared on the X, formerly Twitter page of the force, stated that the troops of Sector 4, who were on checkpoint duties in Okigwe local government area of the state, tried to arrest the suspected IPOB ESN member but fled in order to escape arrest, which forced the troops to open fire on him, thereby leading to his death. He said, troops of Sector 4 deployed at forward operational base in Okigwe, Imo State, while on checkpoint duties spotted an identified IPOB Eastern Security Network member on a motorcycle. When ordered by the troops to halt and alight from the motorcycle, he took to his heels in order to escape arrest. All efforts to stop him proved abortive, forcing the troops to open fire and gun down the suspect. And items recovered from him are 2 live rounds of 7.62mm special, 1 ITEL mobile phone, 1 small bag containing charms, the sum of 2,000 naira, 2,300 naira only, and 1 quick clink motorcycle. The statement also said, in a joint operation with the Department of State Security, troops of Sector 1 of the Joint Task Force in Southeast raided a suspected hideout of IPOB in Obakwa village in Nkano East local government area of Enugu State, which led to the arrest of Biggie, a suspected drug peddler who escaped during the jailbreak in Jos. 25 persons have been arraigned before Justice Nnamdi Dimpa of the Federal High Court sitting in Awka after they were charged by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. According to the EFCC, 22 of the convicts bagged 2 years jail term each for their involvement in cybercrime offenses, while 3 others were cautioned and detained in Awka, Anambra State capital. This was disclosed in a statement by the EFCC on Sunday and shared on the X, formerly Twitter, page of the commission, while the convicts pleaded guilty to the count, which led the counsels to the EFCC, Annie Michael and Rotimi Ajobiyewe, to ask the court to sentence them accordingly. Delivering the judgment, Dimba sentenced 22 of the defendants to 2 years jail term each, while 3 others were cautioned and detained for 8 hours before they were released. Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project has asked the Federal High Court in Lagos State to stop the House of Representatives from procuring and taking delivery of 360 sports utility vehicles amounting to the sum of 57.6 billion naira for its members, pending the hearing and determination of the applications for injunction filed by the organization. According to SERAP, its applications for interim and interlocutory injunction followed reports that the lawmakers are set to procure and take delivery of the SUVs, adding that each of the SUVs would cost taxpayers at least 160 million naira. This was disclosed by the organization's deputy director, Kolawole Oluwadare, stating that SERAP is seeking an order of interim injunction restraining the National Assembly from procuring, taking delivery, and distributing the SUVs to their members, pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for an order of interlocutory injunction filed simultaneously in the suit. Oluwadare said the organization sent an open letter to President Bola Tinubu urging him to put pressure on the leadership of the House of Representatives and stop its members from taking delivery of 360 SUVs pending the court application for interim injunction, while urging President Tinubu to exercise his executive powers and discharge your constitutional oath of office act as recommended. The lawmakers would go ahead to procure and take delivery of the 57.6 billion naira vehicles and thereby present the court with a fait accompli. SERAP stated that the Tinubu-led administration must uphold the rule of law and the integrity of the judicial process as demanded under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and Human Rights treaties to which Nigeria is the state party. Oyo State Police Command has arrested 3 people over the killing of a man whose name has not been revealed. The suspects were caught for possessing body parts of the deceased in Ibadan, the state capital, after they conspired to kill the man whom they asked to follow them to visit a place around Monia area in the Akinyele local government area. They were later arrested by the police after it was discovered that blood was coming out of the booth of their car, and the 3 suspects are currently at the State Criminal Investigation Department in Iyaganku, Ibadan. Deadly crash has killed the occupants of the sport and leaving others injured. 7 people, including a couple, and 5 others who have been confirmed dead in a road accident that occurred in Ogi, Osun State. A resident of Ogi, simply identified as Adamo, who was at the scene of the accident, said a male adult and resident of Odeomu was brought out of the vehicle dead. When contacted, Osun Sector Commander of the FRSC, Mr. Henry Benamezia, said the accident claimed 7 lives and urged motorists to always obey traffic rules. First Lady of Kwara State, Olufolake Abdulrazak, has pledged to use her office to ensure that children in the state no longer die of malaria. She made the pledge in Abuja after her investiture as malaria ambassador for the state by the Society for Family Health, National Malaria Elimination Program, and other partners against the eradication of malaria, adding that she would use different channels and resources to disseminate messages on the use of malaria preventive medicines for children aged 3 to 59 months and the insecticide-treated nets to ensure that children and families are protected. According to her, as a malaria ambassador, Abdulrazak is expected to play a pivotal role in advocating prevention, treatment, and research, using her office to support initiatives aimed at increasing public awareness, encouraging community engagement, and mobilizing resources for malaria elimination campaigns. The managing director, Society for Family Health, Dr. Omukudu Idoho, said that beyond the focus of ending malaria goals, there was a shift toward a more systematic and targeted integrated approach in its programming. Idoho, who was represented by the Society's Deputy MD Strategy, Technical and Growth, Dr. Jennifer Anyanti, said that the shift was to work with donors and the government to tackle many diseases and to drive progress beyond programs. Ogun State House of Assembly says it will on Monday commence the appraisal of the 2023 budget performance for the third quarter of the year. The lawmakers said various ministries, departments, and agencies of the state government and local government councils would be assessed to ascertain their level of compliance with the 2023 appropriation law. A statement by the clerk of the Assembly and head of Legislative Service, Deji Adeyemo, who disclosed this, said the exercise is part of the oversight functions of the legislative arm of government in promoting accountability and transparency, adding that the exercise is in consonance with sections 128 and 129 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. According to him, the budget performance assessment would commence at 10 a.m. daily and end on Monday, October 30th, 2023, and urged all MDAs of the state government as well as local government councils to make available relevant documents and information to ensure the success of the exercise. Ogun State Governor Daba Obiadun has directed all illegal cow sellers and street traders on road setbacks along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to vacate the area within the next 21 days. According to Obiadun, the illegal traders are operating at the Kara, Isheri, Marewa axis of the expressway and should vacate after the 21-day ultimatum, as government would demolish the shanties for the proper cleanup of the axis, adding that the shanties erected by the traders constitutes environmental nuisance and security risk to members of the public. He also said the shanties also serve as criminal hideouts for street urchins and drug peddlers who rob innocent citizens of their valuables in broad daylight, stressing that his government is in preparation for the beautification of the setbacks to complement the reconstruction of the expressway by the federal government. Abiodun gave the directive in a message delivered on his behalf by the Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresanya, during a meeting with community leaders at the palace of the Olofin of Isheri, Oba Sulaimon Adekunle Bambede in Isheri, adding that the decision to dislodge the street traders and demolish all their shanties was to restore environmental sanity after several warnings, abatement notices, and other entreaties for them to move to government-approved markets failed. Kogi State government says there was an assassination attempt on the state governor Yahaya Bello a few kilometers away from Abuja on his way to an official engagement from Lokoja, the state capital. According to a statement issued by the State Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo said the attack occurred at about 4 p.m. on Sunday, October 22nd, 2023, adding that the attackers, who were dressed in military uniforms, waylaid the governor's convoy and started shooting sporadically at his vehicle and other vehicles in the convoy, but it took the swift intervention of the security personnel attached to the governor to foil the satanic plans of the unknown soldiers. He said that the attacks were at 3 different points, the last barricade being around Kwali, Federal Capital Territory, at about 4:20 p.m., adding that the strange attacks has been properly documented at security offices in the state and at national level for prompt and thorough investigations to avert future occurrences. He called on the citizens to remain vigilant and report suspicious movements in the domain to relevant security agencies, stressing that it is the responsibility of the government to ensure security while assuring that the peace enjoyed as a state in the last 8 years won't be lost on the altar of violent politics. Former senator who represented Kogi East between 1999 and 2003, Alex Kadiri, has appealed to fellow party members not to set the state on fire through inflammatory statements as the November 11 governorship election approaches. The 82-year-old ex-senator, who said he had been saddened by the turn of events within the party, expressed sadness over his inability to see President Bola Tinubu to express his feelings and probably offer a piece of advice on the way out of the present quagmire. He said that APC is indebted to Nigerians by providing good governance instead of threatening them. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 40-year-old businessman, Sharif Ebo, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, while attempting to board an Air France flight to Paris, France, after the anti-narcotics agents discovered he ingested illicit drugs. The spokesperson for the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, noted that the Spain-based Ebo was arrested after a body scanner revealed that he had wraps of illicit drugs in his stomach. The communique also said the NDLEA operatives at the narco imports shed of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, seized a consignment of 10 cartons containing 500,000 pills of tramadol, 225 milligram branded as Tapentadol, the cargo, which was shipped from India through Qatar Airways, with airway bill was purported to be a transit cargo to Monrovia, Liberia. However, the lead was blown open through partnership and real-time intelligence sharing mechanisms between NDLEA and its Liberian counterparts. Abuja Appeal Court judgments that favored Honorable Abubakar Babanzango, representing Yola North, Yola South, Giray Federal Constituency of Adamawa State, has banned Honorable Salihu Muhammad Abba Giray, the PDP candidate that was removed for forging a primary school certificate of 10 years active politics and public service. The judgment elated the people of Yola, especially the All Progressive Congress, and described it as a welcome development that will strengthen democracy in the country. The judgment, which was delivered by a three-man team of judges, said Giray should not hold any public office because of his shameful show of leadership and irresponsibility to the nation. Justice Moore Asemoy A. Adume from Bayelsa, who read the judgment, ruled that the sum of 5 million naira be paid to Honorable Babazango, the current member representing the area, as damages by Giray for making him incur losses and go through psychological stress, adding that Giray will also refund all salaries, entitlements, benefits, and all legislative utilities collected for the period he was serving as an illegal House of Representatives member. Justice Moore, alongside Justice Joseph Olubunmi Kayode of Osun State and Justice Rilwan Maiwather Abdullahi of Nasarawa State, are of the view that the likes of Giray are a disappointment to the nation and they should not be allowed to hold any public office. Appeal Court in Abuja has invalidated the election of Senate Minority Leader Senator Simon Nwankon. The court stated that the People's Democratic Party did not properly nominate Senator Simon Nwankon, adding that the PDP did not fully comply with court orders as 12 local government areas did not participate in the Congress. Furthermore, the court has mandated a fresh election for the Plateau North senatorial seat. The verdict was delivered on Sunday, October 22, following a legal dispute between Gyang Yaya Z and the Labour Party as the first and second appellants, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, Simon Nwankon, and the People's Democratic Party as the first, second, and third respondents for the Plateau State Northern Senatorial District. Suspected boat fire have allegedly killed 2 children while other persons were injured in Kacha, local government area of Niger State. The boat was said to have caught fire following a mechanical fault in the engine, which ignited a jerry can of petrol inside the boat. The overseeing Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Salihu Garba, said the incident happened when 145 passengers were on board. The police in Niger State is yet to make any statement on the incident. National Youth Service Corps says it has secured the release of one of the female Corps members abducted in Zamfara State. This is coming after 7 Corps members and the driver of the vehicle conveying them were abducted in Zamfara. A statement signed by the Eddie Megwa Director, Press and Public Relations said the female Corps member was rescued with the help of security agencies, adding that with the combined efforts of security agencies, the remaining Corps members will be released. The statement said the scheme shall never shirk its responsibility of upholding the security and welfare of Corps members at all times. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents have attacked an office of the Nigeria Customs Service in Jadam Town, Jadam local government area, Yobe State. killing one operative, Usman Gombe. According to eyewitnesses, the insurgents stormed the customs office along Main Sorrel Road in a Volkswagen Golf, and a Land Rover started shooting while the officers scampered for safety. Some escaped through the gate while others scaled through the fence. He said the assailants also burnt down the customs patrol van, a generator, and part of the office building, while other residents of the town disclosed that the activities of Boko Haram insurgents on the outskirts of Jadam had increased in recent times, adding that they collected taxes from farmers and herdsmen a few kilometers from the town, and nobody's doing anything about it. However, the Nigeria Customs Service and the police in Yobe State have not made any statement on the matter. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says it spent over $1.1 billion in its humanitarian response in Nigeria's northeast in the past 18 months. UNICEF's humanitarian dashboard for the first and second quarter of 2022 showed that 11.6 million locals had been targeted for food, health, and shelter, among other forms of intervention in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states, adding that despite the aid, the office could only reach 8.3 million residents due to what it described as funds shortage. The UN also said the population comprises three groups: internally displaced persons, IDPs, returnees, and inhabitants of host communities, and the humanitarian response plan is now 70% funded, while some sectors remain vastly underfunded by the US $1.1 billion requesting funding, forcing response partners to prioritize interventions in communities that ranked highest on the severity scale, adding that despite this funding shortfall, 124 humanitarian actors responded to the most acute needs. It also said they delivered humanitarian assistance to 4.7 million people since January 2022, accounting for 84% of the estimated people identified for assistance, while the Boko Haram insurgency had, in the last 14 years, caused insecurity in Nigeria's northeast and described the ensuring humanitarian crisis as one of the most complex in the world. This is coming after in October 2017, the federal government established the Northeast Development Commission to facilitate the reconstruction and development of the region, while the commission earmarked 31 billion naira for its 10-year Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan in September. Troops of the 33 Brigade of the Nigerian Army have gone down the leader of a notorious bandit gang that has been terrorizing residents in Ningi local government area of Bauchi State. The influential bandit known as Yao met his end in an ambush by the troops at a strategic crossing point in Bura, Ningi. The Nigerian Army confirmed Yao's death in a statement released by Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director of Army Public Relations, which detailed that the troops acting on actionable intelligence patiently waited for the bandits and then opened fire on them, and one bandit was killed and the others fled with gunshot wounds, leaving behind evidence in the form of blood traces. The troops also recovered an AK-47 rifle, 14 live rounds of 7.6mm ammunition, a mobile phone, and a fetish amulet from the bandit, adding that Yao was the leader of the gang, which is notorious for using heavy weaponry to instill terror among the residents of Bura and neighboring communities, while the gang was involved in kidnapping for ransom and, in extreme cases, resort to violence if ransom demands were not met. Ohaneze Ndigbo, the apex social-cultural organization of the Igbo, has described popular Islamic scholar Ahmed Gumi as an enemy of the state. Ohaneze disclosed this while condemning Gumi for describing the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, as satanic. Factional Secretary General of Ohaneze, Okechukwu Isiguzoro, said Gumi was trying to declare war on Christians with his comment, while also calling for Wike's removal as FCT minister after the former received an Israeli envoy in Abuja and discussed plans to collaborate with Israel in the area of security. The Islamic scholar had described Wike as a satanic person, adding that Christians should not be trusted with the security of the country, and urged relevant authorities to take swift action against Gumi. Senior pastor of Awaiting the Second Coming of Christ Ministries, Adewale Giwa, has cautioned President Bola Tinubu to resign from office if he does not have solutions to a series of challenges facing the nation, especially the worsening economic miseries in Nigeria. Giwa disclosed this in a statement on Sunday, alleging that Tinubu's emergence as president had further caused a severe setback in Nigeria and warned that the continuation of APC in the presidency would cripple Nigeria's economy. He also said Nigeria is going down the drain. The elderly parents are crying for help. Youths are jobless and killing their friends and relatives for money rituals, while prostitution, armed robbery, and other criminal activities have taken over the streets of Nigeria due to bad leadership. Bishop Emeritus of Abuja, John Cardinal Onayekan, has probed the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, for misleading Nigerians and not being honest in the conduct of 2023 elections. The Cardinal spoke in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, during the 10th anniversary celebration of the Jesuit Memorial College, accused Mahmood of not telling Nigerians the truth when he knew things didn't go well, insisting that the truth should prevail even as the opposition was challenging President Bola Tinubu's victory in the court, while also decrying the certificate's forgery against the presidency. The Cardinal maintained that he would keep praying for Nigeria to come out of the political bondage. Independent National Electoral Commission has banned political parties to desist from spreading the fake news ahead of November 11 Bayelsa Kogi and Imo governorship election. The chief press secretary to the INEC chairman, Rotimi Oyekanmi, who gave the warning in a statement in Abuja, said the ban came following a statement by the Social Democratic Party that INEC was configuring by model voter accreditation system machines at the government house, Lokoja, to manipulate the state governorship election. Oyekanmi, however, said that the configuration of beavers was done simultaneously and exclusively in INEC offices in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi by teams deployed from the national headquarters, Abuja, and warned the public to disregard the story as fake news. New chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, may probe 25 high-profile corruption cases involving former governors, ministers, and senators. Some of the cases, especially those against ex-governors, have lasted several years, while some are still under investigation, and several others have spent years in court with no conclusive end to the trials. This is coming after Olukoyede was confirmed by the Senate on last Wednesday, barely 4 months after the former chairman of the commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, was suspended. Some of the former governors who have been invited by the commission for probe include the immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, his predecessor, Ayo Fayose, former governor of Zamfara State and incumbent minister of state for defense, Bello Matawalle, and a former governor of Enugu State, Chimaroke Namani, among others, while other lingering cases involving the commission include the former national security advisor under ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired, former Minister of Petroleum Resources Desiani Alison Madekel, among others. On June, Fayemi was invited by the commission over allegations of 4 billion naira misappropriation during his tenure as governor. Fayemi's media aide Ahmed Sajo had said in a statement the following day that the former governor was invited regarding a money laundering petition against him, adding that the petition was filed by a faceless group. In May, the FCC said the former Zamfara State governor was being investigated for the alleged diversion of 70 billion naira from the state treasury, while the former governor accused Bawa of demanding $2 million bribe. The FCC in turn said Matawalle was under probe for 70 billion naira fraud. As of the time of filing this report, the status of the bribery allegation and fraud claims could not be ascertained. Similarly, in 2021, the former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, who was a presidential candidate of the New Nigeria's Need Nigeria People's Party in the 2023 election, was interrogated by the EFCC over alleged non-repeat remittance of 10 billion naira pension fund. Justices on the bench of the Supreme Court has reduced to 10 as Justice Musa Datijo Muhammad bows out on Friday, October 27, 2023. The retirement notice served on the Apex Court's management by Justice Datijo will lapse on the date when a valedictory court session will be held in his honor. A statement in Abuja by the court's Director of Press and Information, Dr. Festus Akande, said the valedictory session will hold at the main courtroom of the Supreme Court by 10 a.m., whilst a special court session is to be presided over by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, who will customarily pay tribute to Justice Datijo alongside all the major stakeholders in the nation's justice sector. Justice Musa Datijo, who hails from Chachanga local government area of Niger State, was born on Tuesday, 27 October 1953 in Mina and attended Native Primary School, Mina, from 1960 to 1966 for his first school leaving certificate. Between 1967 and 1971, he was at Sheikh Sabah College, now Sadana Memorial Secondary School, Kaduna, from where he proceeded to Abdullahi Bayero College, Kano, for a pre-degree program which he aided his immediate admission into the Faculty of Law at the Ahmad Bello University Zaria, where he bagged a degree in law in 1977. He was called to the Nigerian bar on 2nd July 1977. He was called to the Nigerian bar on 2nd July 1977. Justice Datijo subsequently sought for admission at Warwick University in 1982 for an LLM degree, which he obtained in 1983. Justice Datijo was elevated to the Court of Appeal on 21st of November 1998 from the Niger State Judiciary and served at different divisions and took the oath of office as Justice of the Supreme Court on Tuesday, 10th July 2012. President, National Union of Road Transport Workers, Tajuddin Barua, has urged the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, to shun the path that would further jeopardize the ongoing reconciliation process in the union and ensure stronger ties. Barua also accused Lalong of taking sides with the Bashiru Abwede-led group in the ongoing reconciliation process of the union. The NURTW president further said that the minister met with the Abwede-led group on Wednesday, 18th, 2023 in his office, where he allegedly urged the group to organize a fresh national quadrennial delegates conference, which contravened the provisions of the union's constitution. Barua disclosed this in a statement issued by the General Secretary of the union, Anthony Chukwudi, in Abuja. This is coming following an election for the vacant post of national officials, while the National Union Road Transport Workers has been mired in an impasse of leadership, adding that factional leaders Barua and Abwede have proclaimed national leadership of the union, and members faithful to both leaders battled last August at the union's offices in Abuja's Garki district, resulting in a fatality. We hereby wish to call on the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, to retrace his steps and desist from the path that would further jeopardize the ongoing reconciliation process in the union. The President recalled that the reconciliation meeting had already been fixed for October 24th, 2003. For both groups, but was taken by surprise by the minister's meeting with the other group. The statement noted that the Ministry of Labour and Employment, where the minister superintends, is a creation of the law, and they should not be seen acting outside or contrary to the laws or giving contradicting directives. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will return after this break.
The National Broadcasting Commission welcomes broadcasters, content creators, tech experts, exhibitors, and investors from Nigeria and all over to the 13th edition of Africast. Africast 2023 brings you 3 days of world-class exposition, innovation, and technology advancement, featuring an exceptional lineup of industry leaders that will inspire and guide you with their insight and expertise. Theme: broadcast content, synergy, finance, and market. Date: Tuesday the 24th to Thursday the 26th of October 2023. Venue: Marriott Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos. Time: 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Chief host: Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris. Host: Mr. Charles Ibwebu, Director General. Announcer: Management, NBC. Your right to quality broadcasting.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Senate has resolved to make electronic transmission of results mandatory from the next general elections in 2027, including the uploading of polling unit level results and result sheets used at different levels of results collation. Senate disclosed this in a communique issued at the end of its retreat in Ikotebene, Akwa Ibom State. Senate said it is ready to amend the Electoral Act to allow for diaspora voting, at least for presidential elections, to enable citizens, especially those on essential service abroad, to vote. This is coming after events preceding the election that brought President Bola Tinubu into power, while there were a lot of agitations to allow Nigerians abroad to take part in the elections, adding that a number of Nigerians called for the electronic transmission of results from the Beavers machine. The Senate noted that it was necessary for the Independent National Electoral Commission to be unbundled to improve its efficiency and effectiveness in the preparation and conduct of elections. The communique also stated it will introduce diaspora voting, at least for presidential elections, to enable citizens to vote, especially those on essential service abroad, such as military, paramilitary, and other security personnel abroad, embassy staff, and other citizens. The 10th Senate further noted that it was time to develop and enact a comprehensive national security strategy and outlines the nation's security objectives, threats, and policy priorities, adding that such a strategy could serve as a guiding framework for legislative action in the security sector. Up next is business news. Nigeria's palm oil imports from Malaysia, a leading global producer, has increased by 65.3% in the first 9 months of 2023. Data from the Malaysian Palm Oil Council revealed that the country's palm oil import from Malaysia increased to 234,324 metric tons between January to September 2023, from 141,786 MTN the corresponding period of 2022, indicating an increase of 92,530 indicating an increase of 92,538 metric tons, and also listed India, China, Kenya, Netherlands, Japan, and Turkey as its top 10 major importers. To boost local crude palm oil production, the federal government has imposed a 35% tariff on palm oil imports into the country as measures to protect the country's palm oil industry and spur industry growth. Despite this, Nigerians had continued to prefer the importation of palm oil rather than locally produced products owing to the huge demand-supply gap. National President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kabir Ibrahim, said that Nigeria is yet to achieve food sufficiency. BIC Manufacturing Corporation has called on government to make teaching attractive by adequately compensating them for their contributions to society. The statement said every profession was crucial for the development and prosperity of society, but the teaching profession is the foundation for all others, adding that it is a conspicuous denominator that all successful individuals across diverse industries pass through the watchful tutelage of teachers, noting that in every society from ancient civilization to today's ultra-modern era, educators have proven to be the building blocks for inventions, innovations, development, and growth. The statement also said, as Nigerians commemorate Teachers Appreciation Month, it is imperative to celebrate the educators who continue to inspire and impact the minds of generations of leaders, thinkers, and undoers, adding that the role of educators in shaping our society cannot be overemphasized. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is the international tidbits. Israel's military has vowed to intensify airstrikes on Gaza and has warned Palestinians still in the north of the territory to flee south. The military spokesman said this would allow Israel to minimize the risks to their forces in the next stages of the war, which is expected to be a ground invasion, and photos from a central Gaza hospital show lines of bodies, including at least 12 children, but it is not clear when or where they died. One member of the staff at the hospital said they're running out of shards for the dead, while Hamas says 266 Palestinians have been killed in the past 24 hours, including 117 children. But Israel says it is it killed dozens of terrorists overnight. Although there are signs that more aid might reach Gaza today, 17 aid trucks have been seen lining up on the Egypt side of the border, and 2 weeks since Hamas launched its assault on Israel, killing more than 1,400 people, Palestinian officials in Gaza say more than 4,600 have been killed. Drone shortages have had an effect on the war in Ukraine due to China's move to place restrictions on exports. Many of them are commercially made in China and bought off the shelf. And new supplies are vital because of the large numbers lost in the fighting. And there are indications of a reduction in the number of Chinese drones and parts available to both Ukraine and Russia. According to the Royal United Services Institute, a London-based think tank, Ukraine is losing about 10,000 drones a month, while numerous volunteer groups have been instrumental in using donated funds to help the Ukrainian army restock its supplies. Commercial drones are used alongside purpose-made military designs such as Turkish Bayraktar drones. Turkish Bayraktar drones used by Ukraine and Iranian Shahed used by Russia, while the latest restrictions imposed by the Chinese government came into force on 1st September, and they apply to longer-range drones weighing more than 4 kg, as well as drone-related equipment such as some cameras and radio modules. Chinese producers of such equipment are now required to apply for export licenses and provide end-user certificates. And the government in Beijing, which has not condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine, says commercial Chinese drones must not be used for military purposes, while Ukrainian volunteers and soldiers said the latest Chinese restrictions have so far had minimal impact on the availability of drones, especially the ubiquitous lightweight Mavics made by the Chinese company DJI. The war in Ukraine is the first armed conflict in which drones have been used so extensively and in such great numbers, and both of the warring sides are determined to keep it that way. In a historic and groundbreaking achievement, Uzoma Choma Asagwara from Umuahia South local government area of Abia State has been sworn in as the new health minister and deputy premier of the province of Manitoba in Canada. She took her oath of office this week, making a significant milestone in her illustrious career. Asagwara's rise to the position is a remarkable feat, as she not only becomes a prominent figure in Canadian politics, but also breaks new ground as the first black individual to achieve this position in Manitoba. Asagwara was first elected in 2019, becoming the first non-binary and gender non-conforming MLA in Manitoba, and was the first of 3 black MLAs elected in Manitoba's history. Before the election, Asagwara worked as a full-time psychiatric nurse specializing in mental health and addictions. As Manitoba's new health minister and deputy premier, Asagwara is poised to bring her unique perspective, fresh ideas, and strong leadership to the forefront of Canadian politics. Reacting to the development, Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Otti described her success story as an inspiration to all Nigerians, particularly the youth who have dreams and talents to nurture. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in the United States for the African Development Bank's World Food Prize event. Shettima will participate in the African Development Bank World Food Prize facilitated Norman E. Borlaug International Dialogue, which will commence on October 24th in Lower. A statement by the spokesman to the President on Media and Communications Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, said the Vice President is billed to attend high-stake meetings across some states of the U.S. with manufacturers, investors, and top government officials. According to Nkwocha, the Vice President will use the platform to speak to the potentialities and endowment of Nigeria's agricultural sector, and also woo investors and push for commitments in achieving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's mandates and programs for Nigeria's agro-food sector. President of Detroit Synagogue Board, Samantha Wall, was found dead with multiple stab wounds outside her home. Reports said Wall was the president of the board of the Isaac Agri Downtown Synagogue, which is in downtown Detroit. as posted by the synagogue in a Facebook post, and are shocked and saddened to learn of the unexpected death of Samantha Wall, or our board president. Police believe the crime took place inside her home, and officers found Wall's body with multiple stab wounds, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The Detroit Police Department said the case had been assigned to its homicide unit for investigation. Police Chief James White said in a statement that the stabbing is being fully investigated and the motive is not yet known, and asked the community for patience as authorities commence an investigation into her death. In a statement, Dogan said he and Wall were celebrating the newly renovated synagogue together just a few weeks ago. And now, entertainment news. Nollywood actress and media personality Toke Makinwa has cautioned ladies in relationships against making outrageous demands from their male partners. She said it was wrong for ladies to demand what they can't afford for themselves from their lovers, and cautioned ladies against putting pressure on their male partners. She added that women who make excessive demands from men are the reason men insult women. Popular skit maker and content creator Abdul Ghaffar Ahmed Oluwatoyin, aka Cute Abiola, has denied that he never bought a brand new car for the father of late Nigerian rapper Irioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad. This is coming after some blogs recently reported that the comedian bought a new Lexus car worth 20 million naira for Mohbad's dad. The skit maker said the rumors were the handiwork of mischief makers, warning them to stop chasing clout with his name. Here now is ATN Sports News. Napoli sporting director Mauro Meluso says the club will hold new contract talks with Victor Osimhen in the next few weeks. Osimhen looks a long way off agreeing a new contract with the Serie A champions after he was furious at the TikTok videos posted by the club. And Napoli were also unhappy after the Nigerian returned from international duty with an injury last week. Meluso, however, stated that the partner planning a new round of talks with the 24-year-old's representatives in the next couple of weeks, a meeting between the president and Osimhen's entourage over the next few weeks. And the Nigerian international has less than 2 weeks on the contract with Napoli. Niger Tornadoes head coach Hamza Abara has described the victory against Bayelsa United as a well-orchestrated plan. This is coming after the Icon Ala boys defeated the Prosperity Boys 1-0 at the Ahmed Bello Stadium, Kaduna, on Saturday, while Yahuza Bala got the lone goal in the second half of the encounter from a well-fed pass from Idris Saldu. Abara admitted that the encounter was a difficult one, but expressed delight with the victory, while the Niger Tornadoes climbed up to 6th position on the table following the win. Super Eagles head coach Jose Pizarro has sent his best wishes to Eyimba ahead of the African Football League quarterfinal clash against Morocco's Wydad Athletic Club. The Nigeria's Premier Football League champions are among the 8 clubs selected to take part in the inaugural edition of the competition, while Eyimba will entertain Wydad in the first leg at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. The reverse fixture is billed for Casablanca on Wednesday, October 25th, and that the reason Pizarro took to social media to wish Eyimba the best in the game. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. NDC boss tax communities to support President Tinubu. Serap wants costs to stop lawmakers' utility vehicles. Senate to make electronic transmission of results mandatory. Palm oil imports from Malaysia increased by 65.3%. Shatima attends World Food Prize event in United States. Actress Toke Makinwa cautioned ladies over outrageous demands. Napoli plans new contract talks with Osimhen. I am Basil Chadamba. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, and on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good night.